Hey all there, all you guys out there in YouTube land. This is Star with H&S Designs now. Long time no see. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and if you will wait till the end of the video, that is when I will go into more explanation about that. But for now, let's get into what we're going to be doing today. If you will see up here in the top right corner somewhere, I'm showing you a picture of a pendant I have previously made. For the life of me right now, I cannot find it. I have not sold it. I don't know what I've done with it. Oh my God, I gotta find it. Anyway, we're gonna try to at least somewhat recreate that. Maybe not exactly, but it's gonna be fairly close. For this one specifically, I did pull out this really pretty labradorite. You can see it's got a lot of golden in there. It's got some blue, and it's just, yeah. It's really pretty, but it is specifically a teardrop shape. You don't necessarily have to use a teardrop shaped one. You can use a marquee shaped, just something, I like something with a point, though you could use an oval. I wouldn't use just straight round. I would use something that's got kind of a, yeah, ovally, teardroppy, pear shaped stone. You need your basic tools. You will need cutters. You will need some type of pliers. You may find nylon jaws to be handy, although you can do the same thing with your flat nose pliers. It's just going to be to flatten down the weaving wire. I'm going to be using for this one. In that one, I used copper and copper. On this one, I'm going to use antique copper and just the straight copper, so you can see the color difference there. I wanted the different tones to show. And of course, I wanted to say that you could use scrap wire if you had pieces long enough, because that was my thought, and then I realized, duh, I wanted to use the antique copper, so we're going to set this aside. And you can always, like a lot of people do, you can use your scrap wire to make like links for a chain or something. So that may be something in a future project that I may work on, or I may make another one of these. I have tons of lovely labradorites, and I really like this design. I don't know how I came up with it. I did this, I think I made that one, I want to say last year sometime, probably about this time last year, maybe not exactly, but close. But anyway, so of your, I'm going to be using 18 gauge as my base wire. I'm sure you can go up and use 16 gauge, though it may be a bit thick. I would definitely not use any thinner than a 20 gauge, because you got to think, if you look at that picture really well, you're going to have an area down here, but then you're going to come beside the stone. So you want to gauge how thick your stone is. Mine's fairly thick, you know. It's not exactly thin, so that's why I want the 18 gauge, because I'm only going to be using 3 sections of my 18 gauge wire, and that should be plenty thickness to hug the side of my stone. So if you're using 20 gauge, you may want to use 4 pieces of your base wire instead of 3, or what have you. You know, you can change things up. That's quite all right. So I'm going to move my tools aside real quick. Woo, if I don't knock off everything else. So I'm going to keep those. Put that up. I'm going to scoot that aside. And I am using 26 gauge for the weaving wire on this. I'm sure you can use 28 gauge if you'd like. Maybe 30. I've personally never used 30. I don't know how I feel about using 30 gauge. But it's certainly worth a shot. You know, it would give you a lot of opportunity for a lot more detail in your wrapping and in your design. And with the wrapping itself, you can choose whatever wrapping design you choose. I'm going to go with, I don't know yet because I haven't decided. I'm not going to repeat exactly the last one, but I'm going to get pretty close to it, you know, because it's what I know. So I just really wish that I could find that. It makes me sad, but that's life, isn't it? You know, trying to measure. I don't know exactly how long I'm making these. Let me measure these real quick. Off camera, I know, very annoying. These are about 11 inches long. So for about that size stone, this will be more than enough wire for the size stone. So if you got a smaller stone, you may want to gauge accordingly. The stone itself is almost 1.5 inches long and almost 3/4 inches wide. So that gives you an idea. I'm going to get out my last piece and I'm going to show you what kind of weave I'm going to go with. And I have a cute little design, kind of similar to the last one that we're going to do. It is kind of Elvish inspired. And I've been wanting to remake the pendant for a little bit and just, I don't know. I haven't really been feeling much like myself in a crafting way, and yeah, so we're going to get into that later, ain't we? I'm going to leave. No, actually I'm not. I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to pull off, and I'm going to get it around. I got to get off camera to do this. I'm going to pull off 1, 2. Do I want to pull off 2 arm spans, or do I want to pull off 3? I think I'm going to pull off 2 arm spans right now. So this is my middle. Luckily, that's where, you know, the second arm span was. There's my end. I'll put that aside. So one end, my middle. That's exactly what I want and where I want. And so I don't lose it. Use my tripod for a good reason. So now that we have our 3 sections of our base wire, we have our weaving wire ready. Now, what do we want to do? Okay, here's another thing. Just now thought of this. You may want to have flat nose pliers. You could use your others if you have them. And I think I'm going to use these. Don't ask me what I'm doing, because I don't know. And I see I've got it kinked a little bit, so I'm just going to run. Most of the time, I actually just have been running my hands over my wire lately, and it's been doing a pretty good job. But when it gets kinky like that one was, I like to use these because it gets a lot straighter. Look at that. That's so nice. Anyway, I want to find my middle. So I'm going to bring my ends together. Okay. And we have a nice teardrop. So there's my middle. I'm going to squeeze it together with my fingers till we get a pretty good point. And then I'm going to carefully, without wreaking havoc on the wire, I want to keep these sides kind of straight. We're just doing a little bit, just very slowly. Okay, and I just realized I was getting off camera. I'm so sorry about that. I'm horrible when it comes to that. Alright, so I wanted to come to a nice point. Okay, and turning is absolutely fine. I want that this time. But I want it closer than what it has gotten. So I want it all together. Closer. And I'm going to adjust my lighting a little bit so that maybe y'all can see better. There we go. Can y'all see that? Hopefully. Why am I asking? Because you can't really respond while I'm doing this. So that's about all, and I did kind of wreak havoc on there. So we're going to use that as the front side now. Yay! Anyway, we only want that much of a tip. Okay, not much. And now I'm going to kind of spread these apart. So here is the kind of Elvishy inspiration for it, where it comes down into a tip and it's not really as close as what I wanted, so we can go ahead and go back in, squish it down even more, because it's not going to go too far away. Alright, so there's the tip. So at this point, what we would do, so we want the curve to be about the same-ish, okay? Doesn't have to be identical, but pretty close, okay? So that's pretty close. Good enough with me, at least. So this is when we take the middle of our weaving wire. And I'm going to wrap around this one. I'm going to go right here, smack in the middle. I'm going to do 5 on each side. 5 coils. 3, 4, 5. We're going to call that 5, whether you like it or not. And I'm not a left-hander, but we're going to do it like this for the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, and you do want this wire to end down, you want this wire to end up. Okay, so you keep it all even and all straight. Now here comes a really fun part. This is when we want to attach the next wire down and the next wire up. Or, yeah, the next wire down. Something like that. So I'm going to go 1, and we want to get it fairly tight. 2. I'm just going to do 2 for right now, and then we're going to go, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to do this one. 1, 2, and then just 2, 2. 2, 2. So the big reason for the full 10 or the 5 and 5 is just so that we have a section that will not clash with the tip right here. And 2, and this is quite difficult to hold, don't get me wrong, so if you're having a hard time, you are not the only one. When you get to a certain point, you can always use spring clamps, kind of like these. I love these for making little rings, that where you're having to use, you know, thin wire, and you've only got so much and everything. And you don't want something bulky that's gonna really damage your wire too much. Those are awesome, really, really awesome. Whoops, sorry about that. But now I'm going to come in, I'm going to flatten this wire down, and I see that it's kind of a little bit, but you know what, this wire is going to be under it, so I'm not going to worry too badly about it right at the moment. And if you are into counting your coils as you go, or your sections of coils, if you will, you can definitely count. I don't think that I really counted this part. I just kind of went with it. So it's totally up to you. You can definitely count mine. I'm not going to count them. I don't have that kind of time. But you get the gist of how I am wrapping the wire. And so what I'm going to do is, now that I've got this, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to do another 5 on this side. We're going to come back and we're going to add this wire to it. Alright, now that I've got all of that done, as you can see, and of course this side turned out much nicer than that one, of course. This is when we're going to take this other one and we're going to add it, and we want to try to get the point about even, as close as we can to even as possible. It may not be exact, but that's the whole point of crafting and handmade, is that nothing's perfect, you know. But now that I've got that fairly even, fairly close, I'm actually going to make a point to bring this wire behind that one that we just added, okay, And this is where, because I ended on a 2, a small 2. If you can see, I'll bring it up a little closer. Let y'all see and not wiggle. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Now we're going to bring the wire behind the one we just added, and we're going to bring it between the first 2 to weave that together. Get it tight. We're going to bring 2. Okay. And then you're going to come, let's see, back up and through. And you want to do, I'm going to do 2 at least of these 2. And I think that's what I'm going to do on this one, is I'm going to do a 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, just like I was doing before, just slightly different. So I think that's the weave that I'm going to go with. Okay. I'm going to keep going just a little bit longer so you can see what I'm doing, just in case you don't understand, or I don't know, you just want to keep watching. But I'm not going to make it too long. I hate when the flipping wires cross like that. Yeah. So we got a 2, 2, 2, 2. Come in with my pliers, and I'm going to flatten this down, and I'm going to squish it in. And you want to make sure when you squish it that you're not moving this wire, because of course it's not attached on this side yet. So you're going to do the exact same thing on that side. I would probably go up to here, something about like that. I wouldn't go too far, but far enough, because we're going to try to do similar to the picture shown. Similar, but not exact, like I said. So we got that going, and I'm going to continue on up a little bit further. I'm going to go on this side, and then I will meet you back here again. Alright, so I'm back. As you can see, I had to use my pliers to hold it, because otherwise it was trying to go that way. I got it. I didn't measure it. I have not counted anything, but it looks fairly even to me, and I did adjust my light, so hopefully you can tell where it's coming from. Hopefully it's better lighting for you guys, and hopefully you can see that. It looks fairly even to me. I did go through with my nylon jaw, and I flattened all this down because it did try to roll on me, but you know, that's part of it. I'm standing up, but I don't know why. So I'm going to sit my rear end down, and this part is where we are going to, and part of why I was standing up is because I could actually see my screen, and now I can't. But anyway, so now we're going to kind of roll it on itself. Not necessarily on itself, but you get what I mean. Before you do that, you do want to make sure you have your tip even where you want it, because it will still kind of move around until you get it exactly. So just kind of pushing it together. You do want to make sure you get one side of wire over the other side of wire for a reason. Okay, so you get it in as tight as you want, however you want it to look, and I think that's pretty good for me. So here I'm going to take my pliers, and I'm going to take the outermost wire that is on the top row, and I'm going to separate it so that I can get to it, and yes, I'm going to bend it out. Okay, do the same thing with the others, with all the others. You want to get that angle though about at the same point on all your wires. Okay, so about like that. That way they're fairly straight. They're not going to be perfect, don't get me wrong. Okay, but about. I always say in all of my videos, hey, this is handmade. It's not made, well, I don't say this exactly. But, you know, this is handmade stuff. It's not mass-produced. you know, I do this in my home, in my spare time, just because I wanna. So nothing's going to be perfect, you know. So anyway, got that done, and it's kind of curled up on me, so I'm trying to kind of flatten it out a little bit. Okay, so there's my angles, there's my stuff. I'm going to kind of push this down, and I see that I kind of want to turn this side a little bit more, so you can just kind of eyeball it however you think you need to do. And I do like how that weave has turned out. That's a very nice. And that's part of, you may choose to do a different weave here, and that's absolutely fine. But that's the whole point, is that you want something that's very nice and pleasing to the eye. And I definitely do like the contrasting colors of the antique copper and the copper. So we stopped on the top on this side, and we're going to coil in just a few. Just put in a few coils just to kind of get it up to that top bend. Okay, I'm going to do probably 2 more. No, I'm just going to do the 1 more. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this one. So I've got to kind of turn it like this, and I got to have to pull my wire. Okay, kind of push it down, pull it up. And please remember, I'm working with very limited space as I record, so you probably can do this much better, much freer than I can. Push that wire down. It didn't want to go all the way down. All right, and I do want to count this time, make sure my coils are about even, and I think I need 1 more on this side. Push that down, and yep. All right, so there we go. There's that part. We got that up to that bend. Now what we want to do is we want to crisscross, and we want to kind of make sure that it's going to stay together. So that it keeps this teardrop shape. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, and this is gonna honestly be a little bit of a tricky part. You can go back if you want to and take some spare wire and attach this, and you can just take this wire and continue on up with your weave, whatever weave you choose, or you can do like me. And I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna, let's see. Nope. I'm going to, once there, so I'm going to get it good and tight. I'm going to get it side by side, right where I want it. I want to make sure everything is pushed down. Boom. And then I'm going to do a second one. Boom. All right, so there's 2. Okay. And then I'm going to take this wire, and I'm going to have to come kind of cross where we just did, but I'm going to go back here. So I'm going to come in between 2nd and 3rd, and I'm going to come back between 2nd and 3rd over here to keep this look going. So there's that. Okay. And that's exiting that way. Now I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to do the very opposite. So yes, and actually I'm going to uncross that super quickly because I do want to flatten that down right now. Make sure it's good and tight. And see, I just noticed something. That makes me perturbed. Anyway, I know you're saying, what? Anyway, I'm going to undo this because if you noticed, this first cross ended up between those. So I don't want that. I do not want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back through, and I'm just going to go back to this one. And I'm going to cross them two. And I'm just going to leave it at that. That's going to be my wrap. Then my plan did not work, and that is quite all right. Your plan may not work either, and you may have to adjust. So I still think that looks all right. That looks okay to me. So now you can do the same type of weave. You can do whatever you want to going up here. It's kind of looking like a spider, isn't it? A little bit. Anyway, so the main thing was you wanted to have an attachment point for both sides to bring this together. Okay. Now, if you will think for a moment, this is where the stone is going to sit. These wires have to go from being this way to being this way. So what we're going to do first is we are going to do our weave up on both sides. Once we get our weave, then we're going to hold this part down, we're going to bend it. But first things first, let's do our weave. Okay, come back with this one. We can see that it's ending right there. And now we decide what type of weave we want to do. So we can do a single. You can do any kind of weave you want to on this one, really. I'm just coming up with a weave in my head. I don't really know what I want to do. I usually stick to one type of weave, usually the fairly simpler types, but I don't know. I just want to do this one right now. Don't ask me why. I just do. Now what's going to be really fun is doing that side of the same type of weave, and I'm not left-handed. That's going to be really fun. Don't you think? Yeah. Hopefully you can do better than me, though. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe you've decided already you want to do a different kind of weave. And that is perfectly all right. So you see, I'm literally wrapping my wire around each and every base wire one time. I'm hoping you can see. I should be on camera, but I'm literally, I'm literally taking the wire, I'm wrapping it around top once, then I'm coming down to the middle, okay, wrapping it once, then I'm coming to the bottom, wrapping it once, then I'm coming back up, wrapping once, coming back up, wrapping once. So that is the weave that I have chosen to do. Let's flatten it down, because in my opinion, the weaves always look so much better when they're flattened down. It's very tight weave, okay, and I think that it may turn out looking fabulous with this, but we will see. So I'm going to continue on, then I'm going to go on this side and continue on, and I'll meet you back here when I'm done with that part. Alright guys, I am back, and as you can see, I went up a little bit, and as I've gotten this far, which is about halfway to where I need to be with this size stone, I am quickly running out of wire. So I actually measured too low of wire, but luckily for me personally, I have, because you can see just doing this right here, I would need it to at least here, not leaving enough for a bail. So I will be changing my stone. Luckily, I have plenty of labradorites, as you can see. I mean, I've got bunches of them. I'm considering maybe a smaller one like this, but I may just go for one like this one. This one's got a nice purple to it, but the purples don't seem to want to really show very well, to me at least. That one's got a nice little purple to it again, and it's also a lot thinner of a stone, so I just want to find one. See, one this shape and size might work well with this design, but personally I just want to use a teardrop shape. So what do I want to go with? That one's got a really nice blue to it, as you can see. I don't know. I might do one like that. I don't know. And you also want to look, when if you're using a labradorite, you want to see, you know, how well the color shows in the direction you're thinking about looking at it in. Like, luckily this one has beautiful color in both directions, which is really why I wanted to use it. But not all stones. You can see that one's got a pretty decent color one way, but so the other, you know. That one's definitely too big, but it's a very nice one. Very nice. Very pretty. Anyway, we're not here to do that. So, we might just go with this one. We might go with that one. Or that one. I don't know. This one's definitely got prettier color to it. That one's got some nice twining. Let's see. That one might work well. Now this one I know would work well. Let's see what that does. Oh gosh, now I'm now I can't decide. And see, there's that one too. That one's just a little bit bigger. You know what? I'm really starting to think it's going to be that one. And I've got other things. I've got some polymer clay cabochons made by the lovely and talented Yvonne Williams. You know, I love these things. These are beautiful. I love these. I'm tempted to use that one, but it's not small enough. But anyway. So, yeah, I think for right now, and I have an ant on my table. I don't know how. But I think we're just going to go with that one. Because I think that one would be too long. That one's awfully thin. I love it, but it's thin for the weave and the all that. So, yep. That one's the one we're going with. So, now that we've got that out of the way. Alright, and you do want to make sure, if you're like me, you want to make sure you get your weave compressed pretty well. Also, make sure you go in with your pliers and squish it all down really good. There's not too much here in this specific weave to really poke out like there is in the bottom one, but there is some, you know, it could. Now, my trick for getting these top wires to go from this way to this way. So what we're going to do, take your nylon jaws. I'm specifically using my nylon jaws here and not up here because, you know, I'm gripping with my non-dominant hand. So this way, it hopefully will not wreck my wire. Okay, so now I'm going to take another pair. I'd really rather use, I think this time I am going to use a flat nose, flat tip instead. You're going to take it, grip it just enough, okay, not too much, but just enough, and literally turn. So you quite literally are just turning those wires, so you got to be careful. And here comes the tricky part. So I'm just going to turn my work around, since I am not ambidextrous. Again, I want to make sure I get it squished down as much as I can, get my weaving wire out of the way, grab a hold of this, and turn. And when you make them both, make sure you're turning them the same direction and not opposite directions, okay? So, there is that. Let's see what we are doing, what we've done, how we're gonna do it. That's darn near perfect. Darn near. So what I'm gonna do, I've got to put a gentle curve, gently, gently. You can be very meticulous with this if you want. You can just kind of let it freeform. I do need a centimeter, maybe 2 more on either side of weave, but that is getting very close. So you can already kind of see how it's turning out a little bit. So you can see it would have been much nicer with that larger labradorite, but I think it's going to be great nonetheless. So I'm going to do a little bit more weaving on these, and when I get back, when we get to the next step, that's when I shall return, and you will see me in just a moment. Ha! Alright, so I got the weaving done. My dummy butt started working ahead, and I said, stop! No, gosh, okay. So, yeah, I've gotten the weave pretty well done. You can see I kind of shaped it a little bit. I tried to, like I said, I stopped though. But just gently putting this curve on either side, making sure that it's about even. Just get your stone, kind of get it in there. And that's all I was doing, is I was holding my stone in there, gently taking my pliers and bending the wires in a little bit, little by little, you know. I also did take them and make that bend right there as well, because that is where about we're going to put it together. And of course this weave is now too thick for this stone, but I'm going to make it work for myself. Kind of have to at this point. And I am going to push that out a little bit to make a little more room for the tip of the stone. See how that does. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Okay. And I do actually want to bring that bend down a little lower on both sides ish, something along those lines. Alright, and that way it kind of hugs it pretty well. You know, you're gonna have a gap right here. You can almost never get that gap to go away. Trust me from experience. So, and I can see, yeah, I've got a little bit more right here. So I'm gonna go through. I'm going to set my stone down before I drop it and break it, because I don't want that to happen. And this is why, you know, you ought to get your weaving done prior to this stage, because this is very difficult to weave while everything is all bent and everything. Although, if you're like me and you have to, well, then you have to. This just shows you, don't do like I do, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I still need to make one more at least, don't I? Okay, and through here. Let's see. Very difficult. Ooh, okay, well, that happened. Hopefully this might be all I need to get it. You know, that's good enough. Okay, that's good enough. Now we want to decide what we want our veil to look like or to be. Because this is kind of a defining moment right here. A little bit. And of course you can tweak your wires how you need them to be. Mine don't seem to want to stay. And it is kind of a little lopsided. I'm seeing that now. So I'm going to kind of push that. Push those wires down a little bit. Okay. It's looking better now. I think at least. But I always claim that my work's not perfect, so I'm not worried about it. So from here, yep, I think it's looking pretty good. I still do like the contrast of the contrasting colors, you know, of the antique copper and the shiny bright copper too. Let's see, for the bail, let's pull these away, pull these up straight at the moment, not overlapping, but just straight parallel. I'm going to pull these up straight for the moment and not have a big huge bend. these. Thank you. Okay. So we can either just bail with these two or bail with all four. We do have 2 ends of weaving wire that we have left. How about, and of course it's ending with this one and this one. I have an idea. I don't know. Wrap once to connect the two. Then back, let's see. And this is where it's going to get interesting. So now we're going to take the other side. This is just what I'm doing, guys. You do not have to follow this. And then I'm going to wrap that side. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to wrap, where does it go? Now I'm going to wrap around the 2 middles, or between the 2 middles, and twice is what I'm going to do. Yep. Okay. And then, how did I do that? Because I'm trying to get it symmetrical. Or about as symmetrical as I can get it. I'm not very symmetrical with anything. Now, I apologize. I just hit my tripod again. There we go. That's a bit better. That's a good bit better. Okay. Now, around both of these twice. Okay. So, now we're going to do this one again. Around both middles. Okay. And around both middles. Okay. And then back between twice. And back between twice. All right. So that's going to end up, and I'm going to kind of get it to where it's kind of splaying out a little bit by little bit. So that's what I'm going to do for my, no, don't do that. For my veil. It's kind of looking ugly now. Anyway, so that's going to be my veil. Hopefully I will like it when I get done. We shall see what the results are. Well, you shall see where those results are in a few minutes, whereas it's going to be just a little longer than that for me. Because, of course, I have to do it. But, yeah. So I'm just going to, I want that to stay tight. All right. And, yeah. That way. All right. Yeah. Somehow I got a kink in my wire right there, but oh well. Then back around both once for each. And you can crisscross your wires if you're wanting to. If you do some other kind of weave for your bail. I'm just, I don't know, trying to think of something slightly different than my usual. And definitely something that looks different from the original as well. Because the original, I don't know what I was thinking when I made that. I made a super, super tiny bail on it. And I simply put a leather cord on it, which I think looks good, but there is no way of changing that. It is forever on a leather cord, and I'm definitely not taking that off. I'm not undoing that work just to take that off. So, yeah. But this one I do want to make a bit bigger of a bail, so that there is room for a leather cord or chain or what have you, whatever it is, you know what I mean. Get between there, sheesh. Didn't want to go. There we go. Now, 2 on that side. And I am getting a little low on wire, as you can tell, but we take my nylon jaw pliers, squish it down, squish it together, down, in. Let's see how that, yeah, I mean, it's looking different. I mean, I can say that. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody do a bell like this. Not that I recall, at least. I mean, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. Let's see. Because the only reason why I decided to use both sides of the weaving wire was so that I wasn't wasting one side or the other, and that it all kind of looked all right, you know. Kind of looked the same to a degree, at least. I don't know. And it's just something I come up with off the top of my head too. To be honest, a lot of my crafting is just right off the top of my head when I do it. Yeah. Don't ask me. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so we got the middle right there, and then I'm gonna do. Let's see. Straight. Nope, you stay down. Straight. And you're going to have to come in. And I realized I was off camera. Sorry about that. Straight. Straight. Let's keep that good and straight for right at the moment. Gonna 1, 2. Keep that over here. 1. So I guess this is sort of kind of similar to a corset weave. You could kind of say that. Not intending it for it to be, but yeah. So that's going to be in, and you're going to have to go down. And then this one's back. Okay. So now I'm going to have to come up and then around and over. Make sure that I get it down really good. And then between those two, between this one and that one. Oh, see, it went too far. It went too far. All right. And it's gotten too tight now, so I gotta, that's the thing about having the wires like this. It can be quite tricky. Alright, so now I'm gonna do this one at least one more time, that way it's keeping the other wires down really good. Okay, oops. Keep hitting this tripod arm, I tell you. As long as I've had it, you would have thought that I would have gotten used to it by now. But I haven't, you know. Alright, and that's going to be the back anyway, so that part isn't quite as necessary to look good. Yeah. And it is a small bale again, but we can always use these extra wires for something. And yeah. That is a very small bale. Very small bale. Lord of mercy. That's a whole... That is, guys, that is not what I intended. I did not intend for this bale, yet again, to be this small. But that's what happened, didn't it? What are you going to do when you just craft for the sake of crafting? You know? That's what happens. Anyway, I'm going to bend these out. I'm going to bend this side out too. And that way, once I get my bale turned in, there we go. I got to bend them out a little more. Again, small bale, you know, not what I had planned. It might be enough for a something to go through. I don't know what happened to that wire right there. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that wire. Anyway, let's get our stone, pop our stone in. I gotta, yet again, I gotta come in and I gotta adjust just a little bit. Okay, pop this stone right here in, and I gotta bend that a little bit. There we go. All right, so there we go. There we go. So far, and you see I'm not really holding the stone. Yeah. All right, so we can't really do much with this. Now we can use these wires to help hold the back. Why don't we use the front wires here to help hold the front? So, gonna take it down, and this is when, let's see, let's end our waving wire on one of these singles. Just a few solid coils, just enough for it to be on there really well, because it's quickly running out. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trim that. Phew, I don't know. Ooh. Alright. And I'm actually going to get my bent nose. Kinda, in a ways, wish I had gotten the bent nose Giron. I wish I could afford them, but right now I cannot. Ooh. Because I'm just having too much other stuff going on in life, you know. But that's the way things are, and you work with what you got, to be honest. Alright, I think I may have it. A little bit. Maybe not. Oh no. Alright, yeah, that's good. Alright, so now I'm going to coil around this one a handful of times. Isn't that crazy? I did everything even, especially on this bale, but it still just didn't want to, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna pull that up. I'm gonna cut this about there. Okay, and I'm gonna end that wire. Hopefully it ends spacing. Yeah, it does. Yay. Yay. Alright, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Alright, so what could we do to make this part look elvish? This is a very good question. Let's see, I'm going to put those up. And that is all kinds of wonky, ain't it? Lord of mercy. It's a good thing that's on the back. Yeah, that's where I messed up. Oh, laugh with me, please. Okay. I'm thinking just something fairly simple. How about just a little simple, just to end it right there. Okay. Same thing with this side. And I know I did not say you will need round nose pliers, but I wasn't sure if we were going to use them either. So, hey, you're going to need round nose pliers. I want to get that really good and close and tight. There we go. All right. now that's done. And, I don't know how that happened. Oh, okay. Anyway. I'm going to pop this back in. Let me see. Oh, come on, sit right. There we go. What to do? What to do? Okay, that one's too short. But this one is not. Okay. And that will help both sides to hold on good and tight. Alright. And again, it's just kind of free forming, doing what you want to do. You know, there's no set right or wrong way to do any of this, I promise. Okay, I've literally just come up with something on the top of my head. Okay. I promise you. Okay. And yeah, that's actually holding that front really well. And it kind of mimics the same look as my other one a little bit, which I like. And then I think actually I'm going to bring this side's longer. I'm going to bring both of these around. There we go, yeah. Okay. And I want to keep those on the same plane, so yeah, like that. What about just creating a small swirl, kind of, right there? Yeah, like that. There we go. Yes. All right. And that helps hold the top, and it also helps kind of fill in that area a little. And then we can take this. Ta-da. Okay. Now what do we want to do? We do have to end these. I like that, though. Really simple, but still very nice. You know. Okay. Let's take these around this, and actually let's close something like it. Yeah. I don't know. So we're gonna have to pull those up a little more so that they are kind of tucked out of the way, and out of sight is a big thing too. You don't want them visually, you know, in the way at all. Alright, so there's that. This is just going to be a part of it as a little swirl. Again, I'm just coming up with stuff right here, right now. I don't know. I did not have this plan exactly. I did not know exactly what I was going to do, but this is just how I'm going. So I'm going to cut these a little longer. Right there. Bam. And then I'm going to tuck them in under this one. And this will also help keep the stone in on the back. And I mean, it's a little on the messy side, but I don't think it's too much. So we could definitely use something here a little bit more to help stabilize, because the stone is still a little wiggly. But all in all, guys, we just finished this. We got it done. Hallelujah. First time in 6 months, I've gotten some major wire work done, as well as a video. As well as video. And actually, I do want to tighten this up a good deal more. Bring that where you can see it. Where you watching the video can see it, to be specific. Okay. And I'm trying to bring it. Let me get these. trying to bring it out and around as much as I can. Keep it tight. Keep it tight, dog. No. And I want to flatten that down. How am I going to... Nope, that's good. All right. And that helps tremendously to hold that stone. Oh, shoot, yeah. And you can kind of adjust, you know, how it sits and everything like that. But guys, yeah, we finished it. Yay. So this is my, my version of a Elvish wirework pendant. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you like it. Please do a better job on the bell than I did. Oh my goodness. So, okay, if you have made it to the end of the video, guys, congratulations. Ha! Your prize is knowing what I've been up to for like 6 months. I hit a real low point, guys. You know, the job that I had at the time, which was a really great job. It was decent paying, almost perfect hours, you know, wasn't stressed out too much and all this kind of stuff. Well, I got laid off because we didn't have enough work. So I ended up getting a job at a local gas station, with keeping in mind that I was going to hopefully be getting a call back soon about my other job. I worked there for 2 months, and at the time, I think I might have done one video or something, not a whole lot. But you know, I worked there. I worked at that gas station for 2 months, and I just could not keep it up. It's just I wasn't making enough money. So then I found another job making quite a bit better money than either job. But it was quite fairly hard work. You know, hard on your body. A lot of physical stuff, which is fine. But, you know, it took all my energy. So I couldn't do... I wasn't hardly crafting, much less actually, you know, feeling like making videos. But I did... I lost that job. And now I'm on to a new job where I've been there for a little over a month now. And the pay is better. The hours are good, but it looks like it might be a lot of overtime, so I may not be able to do a whole lot of videos, you know, in the immediate future, but I'm definitely going to try to. So, you know, and on top of that, I'm having troubles with my vehicle, and then I've got my kids, and lots and lots of stress. That's just life. I'm hoping you guys understand that life happens, and sometimes you just kind of have to step away from things, and that's just honestly what I had to do. And you know, something had to give, and it ended up being YouTube. But I'm back right now. I don't know how often I can be back, but I will try to be back when I can. I'm going to aim at least for once a month. I'm going to try to do once a week again, but once a week is kind of iffy at this point. So that's what's been going on with me. Thank you for staying and watching this new tutorial of mine. Thank you for listening to me rant. If you are interested in this pendant to purchase or the other pendant, they will both... The other is currently on my Etsy. This one will be up on there soon for sale. And I have lots of other things. Very soon I'm going to start working. I should have long started working on Christmas stuff. But I'm going to start working on some ornaments, some beaded ornaments. And it's going to be using memory wire. This ring size memory wire and bracelet size memory wire. So let me know if you want a video how to make Christmas ornaments using memory wire. And if I get enough people who let me know that you want this, I will do this. Otherwise I won't, because yeah. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much. And if you make this and you do things differently, I would love to see your version of this Elvish wire pendant. Especially know how you, let me know how you do that bail. That's crappy. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, you guys, I love you. Thanks so much for watching, and please like if you like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, hit the notification bell so that when I upload a video next year, you will be notified of it and you can watch it. Yeah, thanks so much, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye bye.